just filmed my bookshelf tour, and I don't know what it was about filming it that prompted this, but this is going to be another one of those just chit chat, sit down, talk to me kind of things. I was thinking, because yesterday was like Mental Health Day or World Mental Health Day or whatever it's called, and for some reason I found myself kind of angry, not necessarily yesterday when I was seeing all of the posts, but this morning when I woke up I was kind of angry, and I don't know why, because talking about mental health is very important. I think that the reason why I was so upset is a lot of people that I see that don't normally talk about it were posting videos and I'm not calling anybody out, because like I said, I'm so incredibly grateful that people post about it at all, but it really bugged me that I want to see it all the time. Like, I don't know, there's G from Book Roast who has a lot of the same stuff that I have going on. Like, obviously two different people, we're not going to have exactly the same stuff. Everyone's story is totally different, but I just really appreciate the fact that she's super open about it. Clara Reads Books is obviously also super open about it, and I value them so much that I wanted to put out there that I am always here if you guys are going through stuff, if you know, have anything like this happening to you, even if you're just depressed, if you're, you know, you've been diagnosed with something, whatever it may be. I wanted to let you guys know that I'm here, because a part of the reason why I wanted to film this video is to kind of give you a little bit of my story. This is going to be a very, very personal video. This is going to be probably, I don't want to say too much information, but it's going to have quite a bit of information, because I've grown so much through my booktube, and I've grown so much through Bookstagram, which sounds really weird, but I've met a lot of really wonderful people on there, and they're very supportive, and I want people to know really who I am and like why I do the things that I do, why I am the way that I am, but yeah. So you'll notice this last week I posted pretty much every day, and it is because I am currently very manic. I don't know what it is about the month of October, but every single October I'm like, I can film 400 videos in 1 week. I can do, you know, essentially everything. And I struggle very much so with bipolar. I am bipolar. I have manic mix, so I can essentially be angry and happy at the same time, and bless my adoptive parents for sticking with me through that, because a little bit of backstory here. I was born to my birth mother and father, and I lived with them until they got divorced when I was like 5. And then I lived with my mom for a very long time, my birth mom, and then I lived with my birth dad for a very long time. And then some stuff happened to me, and I think in my dad's last ditch effort to be like a good human being, he sent me to live with my aunt and uncle. And I won't go too in depth into what that situation was, but there was a lot of physical, verbal, and sexual abuse by family. Obviously it wasn't one person that did all of those things, but all of those things were happening to me. And so when I moved to Ohio when I think I was about 11, almost 12, my aunt and uncle are actually who adopted me, and they have been pretty much my saving grace ever since then. Like, I'm gonna cry. I think a lot of the time when something's happening to somebody and you're like in the moment and you're dealing with something, you think that the things that you are experiencing are normal, and when it comes to those kind of things, and they're not normal. So when I moved to Ohio and I lived with who I consider my parents now, I started learning what it was like to have a normal, like, or at least a healthy family dynamic. Like, my parents go above and beyond to make sure they know that I'm loved, you know, they encourage me, and like my biggest fan will be my mother. It's always gonna be my mother, and my dad is definitely one of those people who's like, how's your car running? Like, do you need anything? Do you need help with anything? Like, he's who I call if something happens. So I did move in with them and started realizing that some of the things that were happening to me were not normal. Some of the way that I acted was not normal, and it's partially because of everything I've been through, and it's partially also because life in Alaska is very different from life in what we call like the lower 48. You're very isolated. Some of the things that would not fly down here kind of happen up there, and it's sort of commonplace. You know, it's a lot of drugs, a lot of drinking, things like that. So I started realizing in middle school that I was very different, and I went through like a very angsty middle school time. I had like half my head shaved. I shaved off my eyebrows and like drew them on every day. I wore like black constantly, and I'm like an adult version of that now, obviously, but then I got into my freshman year of high school and I started making friends, and I started like working through some stuff and started therapy, and then I met a boy that I dated all through high school, and I think that definitely messed me up. And it's not to say he's like the worst person I've ever met, but it definitely wasn't a healthy relationship. So all through high school, I kind of like undid all of the good that I was doing in therapy with all the medicine I was on, and I was just in this really toxic relationship. And honestly, the person that you're with is, you know, they're a reflection of you. They are what you kind of like build your life around to an extent, and I didn't realize that that was unhealthy. So, and then I met my husband later, obviously when I was 21 is when we got married, and it's been great ever since then. Obviously no marriage is perfect, nothing's perfect, but I understand now what it's like to have somebody who loves and supports you and wants good things for you, even if, you know, the good things that they think that you deserve or need are hard for you to hear. So yeah. But getting a little bit back into high school, and even when I was really little, I realized that I had OCD. Well, I didn't realize then, but I know what it is now because it's back. But I used to have unwanted thoughts OCD, and to explain what unwanted thoughts OCD is, when people think OCD, they think like, oh, you clean your hands a lot. You know, you're really, really clean. You always want to be cleaning. And that is not what unwanted thoughts OCD is. Unwanted thoughts OCD is you worry about the possibility of you doing something. Like you worry about, you know, I saw a post online and it was so frank and so out there that I was just like, if somebody's talking about it, like you all, like, it's really hard to say this, I'm super sorry, because it makes you sound kind of crazy. You worry that you're like, I have the power to run somebody over, and I could do that. And you live with those thoughts, and obviously when you think about things like that, or you think about like, oh, I could kill myself, and I'm sorry, like trigger warning here, but that's really that's what it is. Like there's no way to sugarcoat what it is, and you live with these thoughts, and it's not all the time for me, it's definitely not, but when it happens, you start worrying like, am I crazy? Like, am I gonna go crazy? Is this what actually losing my mind feels like? And you have to remind yourself the difference between OCD and like being like actually like, you know, and actually doing something like that is people like me, when you think about things like that, you're like, oh my god, I could never do that. Like you start to worry, you start being afraid to leave your house, you don't want these things to happen, and it kind of turns you into a hermit. And I was a hermit for quite a while. Like it got to the point where I would just go to work. Being at work was awful. It was incredibly hard for me. And then I started BookTube, and I started connecting with a lot of people, and it kind of brought me out of that again. And I don't think that you should like self-medicate. I don't think that, you know, you should get diagnosed by somebody. You should definitely be getting diagnosed by somebody, but it was the one thing that helped me. But on top of that, I also have severe anxiety, and the last time I did something that really scared me was going to BookCon with my two best friends last year. And like, I don't travel, I don't want to travel. I mean, I want to travel, but like, I also don't want to travel. I'm really worried about traveling. And I don't know, it's really hard because you see, I don't know, I'm looking for good representation, because I see a lot of movies, or, you know, I hear about books and stuff where, oh, in the end they're cured, or it's not even something that you can really cure, but, you know, they're managing it, and they're getting on with their lives, and I'm waiting for the time that like happens for me, because it is like a constant struggle. And I think the biggest thing that helped me was accepting that it's going to be something that I deal with probably for my entire life. It's going to be something that I have to constantly do self-care. I have to, you know, make sure I'm getting up. Simple things like brushing my teeth, taking a shower, getting dressed, making sure I eat breakfast, making sure I eat dinner, things like that. Like, those things are what I have to do to make myself continue feeling better. And so for me, if I don't get a lot of sleep, if I don't get up and eat breakfast, or if I don't, you know, like take a bath or read or do my self-care things, I start to get more and more into feeling, frankly, like shit. And I envy people who can pull all-nighters and who can, you know, go out and do all these things and all these wild adventures and stuff, and I'm just not one of those people right now. And I know that eventually I might be that person, but I'm really not right now. So I want you guys to know that you see me on YouTube, and you see me talk about the books that I love, and you see me, you know, talk about the books that I don't really love, or just, you know, the things that I'm liking that month, or, you know, like my bookshop tour that I just posted. But I want you guys to know that you only see so much of someone on the internet. Like, you only see a tiny, tiny fraction of them. You watch a 20-minute video at the most from me, you know, every day, or like every couple of days or whatever, and that is 20 minutes out of an entire fucking week. Or it's like, you know, 12 videos every month of my entire month. It's a lot. that you guys are missing. So I just wanted to get on here and kind of talk about mental health day, and I wanted to do it not on the mental health day. Like I said, I'm not upset that people did that. I don't care. I think that it's wonderful that we're talking about it, but I want it to be something that we're talking about all the time. And I know G from Book Roast is thinking about doing like a self-care mental health thing regularly on her channel. And G, if you're watching this, I think you should totally do that, because I would watch the shit out of that. I think that it's wonderful that you're doing it. You're one of the reasons, like I said, that I got on BookTube, because to see somebody, the first video I ever saw from you was actually you talking about those types of things that you deal with in your life. So if anything, I will at least watch it. So if you want to make me my own personal videos, that would be great. But yeah, so I just wanted to sit down and kind of talk to you guys about that. And like I said, open the door for if you're going through something, if something's happening to you, or you know, you just need somebody to talk to who is not going to judge you. I judge no one for anything that they do or don't do with their life, so I'm here for you. But I'm gonna get off here because I've cried like 4 times in this video. I'm gonna have to edit all of it out, and I'm probably rambling at this point, but I love you guys, and I hope you're having a good day, and I hope you're enjoying all the videos that I'm putting out right now, and really enjoying my mania, because that's where I am. But I love you. Bye.